Hello, my name is Michelle, and if you are watching this, it's probably because you really enjoy knitting and crafting and all of that good stuff. So welcome, let's talk about it. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Michelle's Knitted. It's the same for both. I want to start out by saying a huge thank you to everyone who watched my first episode and who left me such wonderful and such sweet comments. I am shocked and humbled and just extremely, I'm honestly like a little shy and embarrassed too, because I can't believe anyone other than myself and my sister watched it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. The fiber community is so wonderful and welcoming, and I'm so grateful for everyone who watched. So thank you so much. I'm going to stop being sappy now. Here's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about finished objects, whips, and yarn acquisitions, because I went to Frederick Fiber Fest yesterday. Not that I should have gone, but I did anyway. So I'll get into that if that sounds good to you. What I'm wearing is one of two sweaters that I've knit and own. It's the Eun Sweater by NovemberKnits. I knit it in Barocco Ultra Alpaca. It is the Steel Cut Oats colorway. I definitely have to wear it with a shirt underneath, and even here it's like it's a little itchy, but I really like the Ultra Alpaca, so no complaints there. All right, enough of that. Finished objects. I finished my quilt top, my Tutti Frutti quilt top, so it's right here. So let me show this to you guys. This is from the book Jelly Roll Quilts in a Weekend by Pam and Nicky Linttot. I was saying it wrong last time. So I finished it. Oh God. I don't know if you can see that. It's I think a throw size quilt. But yeah, it's just, the fabric is a bunch of jelly roll, not jelly roll, fat quarters, random ones that I got. She's not perfect by any means, but this one took me a really long time. I had stopped working on it for a period because it was a lot, as you can tell. But then it came together really quickly in the end, as quilt tops go or do. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. And I don't know when I'll get to long arming it, because I have another quilt that I actually started cutting. I have the fabric cut. Now I just need to do it. That should go a little bit faster, but it's in the queue first for long arming, because it is intended to be a Christmas gift. So I think that's all I wanted to say about the quilt top. My next finished object are my vanilla shorty socks made from scrap yarn that I had. This is Feeling Frosty is the main color, by 3 by the Sea. It's their Sanibel base. And it's 64 stitches, 15 rounds of 2x2 rib, heel flap and gusset. For the toes, I used, I had a mini by the Scranton Stitcher. It's Lemon Ice in their original sock base. And I just paired that because I knew I wasn't going to have enough for the toe. I knit this on a US 1.5. I believe I mentioned that in my last episode. And I actually just measured it before I started recording. And I do get the 8 stitches per inch, which I think is what a couple of patterns call for as gauge. And I know I consciously used a 1.5 because I knit very tightly, but I gotta say, I don't know that I like I don't know that I like this gauge for socks. I think I prefer tighter. They were very loose. In fact, I actually had to toss them in the dryer on low to even get them to look a little bit cinched up. So I don't know. I mean, they turned out really nice. Obviously, I mean, socks. Can't go wrong with hand-knit socks. So we'll see. I might just go back to my US one. Who knows? I might even try a US 0. Who is she? That's it for finished objects. Whips. So last time we spoke, I showed you all the whips that I have. But I've got 3 in hibernation. That includes my Eun Sweater, my hexagon cardigan, and my jelly roll blanket. I got those hibernating because I need to lock in with some other projects. My sister's shawl is still in progress, but I'm not going to share any updates because there are no updates. I didn't work on it since last we spoke. But I do have 2 new cast-ons, and those I will talk about. Well, the first is technically not cast on. It is the Key cardigan by Petite Knit. I'm knitting that for a very good friend of mine. And I knit the swatch. And the pattern calls for a US 7. And as I've discussed many times, I preemptively went up to a US 8. In fact, what I did was I did a US 8 and then a US 7. So this cardigan is knit in the flat. It's knit flat. And so and when I do the pearls, it'll be the US 7 needle that I'm purling onto. And I didn't get gauge. Would you like to know how I'm off? I have too few stitches, which means I need to go down a needle size. Okay, fine. US 7, which is what the pattern calls for. That's fine. I didn't do as big a swatch. Look at how you can even see that. How you can see through it. This is a 7. This is 2 7s. No smaller needle for the purling side. This somehow is now 16 stitches for the 4 inches. I don't know what, it got worse. So I have to swatch for a 3rd time, and I'm going to try 7 and 6 and then 6 and 6 for the needles. So yeah, I don't know. I should have mentioned the yarn I'm using. I'm using Knitting for Olive Heavy Merino. I'm using Bordeaux. No. I just got to block my face, right? This is Bordeaux. And then I'm using their undyed. And this is the 2 colors, which is very pretty. I believe that the pattern calls for using DK and a strand of mohair, or like a lace weight, which should give you worsted. So which is why I went with their heavy merino, which is a worsted weight. But this just must be a thicker strand is what it is. And so got to re-swatch. You may have noticed that I'm not actually doing the little key motif for the stripes, and that's because I did try it and I didn't like how it was looking. I felt like the white stitches and the little key motif were getting lost. They were smaller. Even though I was holding it, like I'm aware of color dominance, and I was holding it in the position that it needs to be in if you want it to pop. It just wasn't working, so I figured we're just gonna go with a stripe. I think it's still the same effect. I also don't want to do color work like purling on the wrong side. So and I am not leveled up enough to do I know you could knit it in the round and then steek it, but I've never tried steeking, and this is not the project to start with. So yes, I think that's all I want to say about the Key cardigan. So it's not technically cast on yet, but I have started working on it because I want to see if I can finish it before Christmas. Good luck to me. All right, my next whip is something that I want to thank you all for encouraging me, because I shared the sort of test or my little practice run at the Moonwake cowl, and so many of you said like, it looks so great, like that's amazing. So I cast on like this is the one. This is my actual Moonwake cowl. Do I have that in frame? Okay, this is it. I cast this on last night. So I came home from Frederick Fiber Fest and I was like, even though I had all this new yarn, I said, let me go and start this because I'm so encouraged. So let me talk about it. So I have it in this box because it's easier. Moonwake Cowl by Andrea Knits. And I am using Fuzzy Family for Creo. It is the, God, look at that. The base is Uncle Mulberry. It is a worsted 2-ply, and it is 85 merino, 15% mulberry silk, which when I picked this up at Yarn Centric in May, and I had no idea it had silk in it, but oh God, it's so soft. So this is Plum, just gorgeous. Ignore my hand shaking. This is Tornado Warning. Oh God, why is my hand shaking so bad? Tornado Warning, beautiful, amazing. I'm usually not a center pull girly. I'm usually I work from the outside, but I don't know what got into me. This is Badlands. Oh, so pretty. And then this is Apple Taffy. It's so soft. It's so soft. So here she is again. So the way you work this is that it is a, it's knit in the round. There's a provisional cast on. You knit the length that you want, or the pattern repeats, and then you graft it together. And I think it looks really good. Oh, thank you guys for encouraging me to just like, well, I don't think anyone encouraged me to go ahead and cast on, but you guys gave me such positive feedback on my test that I decided to go for it. I am using US 8. Instead of, the pattern calls for a US 7, which is 4.5 millimeters. So it's not a huge difference. It's a 0.5 millimeter difference. I actually haven't measured to see if I have gauge with 8, but I figured like this, it doesn't need to go over my head, which actually my test, I pulled the needles off, but I put some waste yarn. I was curious and decided to just like shove it over my head. And I have a large head. I got a big old melon head. And it fit. Like I put it over my head and it fits. So I could also make it a hat. I don't know. Whoops. The screen went dark. Decisions. But anyways, those are my 2 whips. So was there anything else I needed to say about Moonwake? No, that's it. So now, acquisitions. If you don't enjoy watching like acquisitions, feel free to skip ahead. You won't hurt my feelings. So if you are checking out, thank you for watching. And wishing you happy making. If you do like watching yarn acquisitions, let's get going because I don't want this to be long and there's quite a bit. So my birthday is in November, so it's not too far from now. And I figured I gave myself a very strict budget because I have a good stash. And it's actually getting to the point where my stash is a little, I don't want to say overwhelming. It's overwhelming in the sense that I have a lot in the queue because everything in my stash I have a project in mind for, even my scraps. But I, as you all know, I love knitting socks, and When I went to Yarn Centric, and the yarn that I picked up then that I've worked up already and it's done, it's used up in my stash, is my sock yarn. So I knew that if I only stick to buying sock yarn, I'd be okay, because it would get used up. It wouldn't just sit and languish. So that was my original intention, just buying sock yarn at a very strict budget, which would have allowed me to get 4 to 5 skeins of sock yarn. And then when I mentioned to my husband that I had this very strict budget, he was like, is that it? He's so wonderful. And he actually, he sent me a Venmo for like some money to spend. I told him, this is my birthday present. I don't want anything else. Like, this is it. So I had a bigger budget to shop for. So there were two projects I was thinking of shopping for. And anyways, we'll talk about it. So let me start with all the sock yarn I bought. Oh my God. Okay. Oops. So let's start with the first one, which is this lovely beauty. Oh gosh. This is by the Sheepy Shire. And it is their staple sock base, which is 75 superwash merino, 25% nylon. The colorway is You La La. Oh my God, look at it. That's so beautiful. I think I have someone in mind that I want to knit these socks for. So that's one. I'm going to try to whiz past these, y'all. This is ridiculous hand-dyed yarn. Look at this. I hope it's not blurry. And this is Addy Socks fingering weight 4-ply 75/25 merino nylon, and the colorway is Snow Globe, and that's the tag. I don't know how. I think it's ridiculous hand-dyed yarn. And I also have someone in mind for this one. So next, this is for me. This is for me. Look at it. This is the Yarnsmith, and it is 75 merino, 25 nylon. The colorway is Glacier Bay. Oops, hold on. There we go. That's their tag, or their label. I went through all the vendor list online. I went through all of them for Frederick Fiber Fest, and I looked at their bases and I made note. And this was the only vendor that, when I was looking at their inventory or their stock, I saw this colorway, and this was the only one where I said, I gotta go find that colorway, because it's so beautiful. Again, I don't know if I'm in it. Anyways, okay, those are for me. And then this is Laughing Cat Fibers. Look at it. I'm so sorry I keep saying that. That's their logo, their band, Laughing Cat Fibers. Manx Cat Falkland Sock is their base, which is, it's super wash Falkland wool 80/20 with nylon. It's 2-ply. This is the colorway Circe. Now the fun thing about this is that it glows in not glow in the dark. What's it? Black light, UV light. Oh shoot! Oh my God, that's so embarrassing. I don't know what it is, but it's the one. It's that neon-y light. You guys remember when you go to Chuck E. Cheese and you'd get the stamp, and then that flashlight that they'd flash so that they could look at your little stamp? That kind of light. I think it's a black light, UV light. I don't know. Oh man, that's embarrassing. But this is gorgeous. And this is also for me. And then I got this cute little mini from Woolen Vinyl. Oh shoot, I think this is just their staple sock base. Oops. Sorry, the fiber content isn't on there, but it's like there's the merino nylon. It looks like it's a 2-ply. Oof, there's no color name for it, but I got this mini because I have a 50-gram skein of sock yarn, and I want to pair it with a mini, so that's it. That's the mini. So that's all the sock yarn. So that was four skeins and a mini. So I was in budget, or on budget, with my sock yarn. Then the special project that I bought yarn for, this is it going to be for the Nightshift shawl by Andrea Mowry. And this is yarn. It is Plied, a yarn company. And they've got this beautiful Plied yarn. This is their Pennsylvania Avenue base. It's 100% wool, 108 yards, 50 grams. I spoke with the dyers, or like, you know, the owners of the company, or the yarn company, and they said that I should be good with the Nightshift shawl with this yarn. So this is kinetic sculpture race. And so the way that I'm thinking of this is that I'm going to hold, you know, I'm going to do the plied, then the solid that, you know, ties into the plied. So this is Periwinkle. This is also their Pennsylvania Avenue base. Oh, and I'm reading here. It's spun in New Hampshire and hand dyed in Baltimore. So this is Periwinkle. So those are like sort of the two pairs. Aren't they beautiful? I'm sorry, I'm just using my iPhone, so I don't know if it's getting in focus or not. This is Graffiti Alley, and it's this beautiful purple and green. And then this is the pair for this one is this. So this is Fuchsia. That's beautiful. Mm-hmm. And then I've got Oxford Tavern. And it's paired with chartreuse, which I think is perfect. And so the idea is, I think it's like this. Is that right? I don't think I did that right. Oh no, I think that's right. So that's sort of like the color scheme, sort of where it's gonna go. This smells like, it smells like wool. I'm really excited for that. And I was actually gonna cast this on last night, but then I said, you know what? Let me do my Moonwake cowl and then I'll cast this on. So I'm so excited. I'm very happy. I'm very grateful. My husband is amazing and he's very supportive and enabling of my crafts, which is really encouraging or really good. Also dangerous. That's it for yarn. And then I got some other bits and bobs. I got these beautiful buttons that I might use for my friend's cardigan. She said she has buttons that I might want to choose from, but these are, the vendor is Dimensions, and they specialize in raku fired clay, buttons, sweater magnets, shawl pins, beads, and jewelry. They are based out of Huntington, New York. And I'll 100% try to add all these links in the description below. But these are, look at these. Come on. What are we thinking? Does that look good? I don't know. We'll see. But I got those buttons. Then I got these beautiful little earrings because I saw some folks wearing these. This one is for my mother-in-law. This is for me because I love green. Create Yarnworks is the vendor. Oops. Oh God, those are so cute. And then the last thing, I got 3 stickers from them, but the knitting related thing that I got is this little progress keeper. And oh my God, if you're a Star Wars fan, you'll recognize it. I saw it, like I was checking got my stickers, and I was checking out, and then I saw this on the side, and I was like, add that to my tab. That's all I've got. Those are all my acquisitions, my works in progress. I'm gonna wrap it up here because I'm looking at the time and it's getting a little long. Thank you guys so much for listening to me ramble. I wish you all happy making, and you know, I hope you're doing something that brings you joy. And until next time, stay safe, take care, and thank you again.